First Chronicles chapter 1 from Adam to Abraham. Adam says Enosh, Kenan, Malalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The sons of the Japheth were Gomer, Magos, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tiras. The sons of the Gomer were Ashkenaz, Libnas, and Togarmah. The sons of the Javan were Elisha, Tashish, the Kittim, and Rodanims. The sons of the Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of the Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Rama, and Sabtika. The sons of the Rama were Sheba and Dedan. Cush became the father of the Nimrod, who was the first to be a warrior on the earth. Mizraim became the father of the Ludim, Anamims, Lehabims, Nephims. Majorisms, Kasurim, and Kephtorims, from whom the Philistines sprang. Canaan became the father of the Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. And the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, Archaites, the Sinite, the Arvadites, and the Jamarites, and the Hamathites. The sons of the Shem were Elam, Ashur, Arpachshad, Luz, and Aram. The sons of the Aram were Uz, Hor, Kedo, and Mash. Arpachshad became the father of the Shelah, and the Shelah became the father of the Hebrews. Two sons were born to the Hebrew. The first was named Peleg, for in his time the world was divided, and his brother was named Joktan. Joktan became the father of the Amordat, Salax, Hazarmaveth, Joras, Hazarams, Uchas, Diklas, Ibars, Abimelech, Sheba, Oppors, Havilai, and Jobab. All these were the sons of the Joktans. Shem, Arpachshad, Shelas, Eber, Peleg, Luz, Selags, Nahor, Tiras. Abram, there is Abram. From Abram to Jacob. The sons of Abram were Isaac and Ishmael. These were their generations. Bios, the firstborn of the Ishmael, then Kedah, Adberes, Mibshem, Mishma, Dumars, Masha, Hadad, Tima, Jethros, Naphish, and Gedmars. These were the sons of the Ishmael. Sons of the Keturahs, Abram, concubine, Shebors, Jimran, Jokshan, Midians, Ishbak, and Shura. The sons of the Jokshan were Sheba and Dedan. The sons of the Midian were Ephras, Ippors, Hanoks, Abida, and Eldar. All these were the sons of the Keturah. Abraham begat Isaac. The sons of the Isaac were Esau and Israel. The descendants of the Esau were Eliphaz, Reuel, Jeush, Zalam, and Korah. The descendant of the Eliphaz was Tamar, Omar, Japheth, Gatam, Kenaz, Timnah, and Amalek. The descendant of the Reuel was Nahor, Zerah, Shamar, and Mizar. The sons of the Seir were the Rotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anna, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. The sons of the Rotan were Hori and the Homams. The Timnah was the sister of the Rotans. The sons of the Shobal was Elian, Manahas, Ibal, Shaphras, and Onan. The sons of the Zibeon were Aya and Anna. The sons of the Anna, Dishon. The sons of the Dishon were Hamdins, Ishbrans, Itlan, and Charans. The sons of the Israel was Bilhan, Zavran, and Zakran. The sons of the Dishon were Uz and Aran. The kings who reigned in the land of the Edom before the Israelites had kings were the following: Bela, son of the Beors. The name of whose city was Dinhabars. When Bela died, Jobab, son of the Zerah from the Bozrah, succeeded him as king. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of the Timanites succeeded him as king. Husham died, and Hadad, son of the Bedad, succeeded him as king. He overthrew the Midianites on the Moabite plateau, and the name of the city was Alvis. Hadad died, and Samra of the Masrekah succeeded him as king. Samra died, and Shaul from the Leobos on the Euphrates succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Balanan, son of the Akbor, succeeded him as king. Balanan died, and Hadad succeeded him as king. The name of the city was Bai, and his wife's name was Mehetabers. She was the daughter of the Metzrat, who was the daughter of the Mezahars. After Hadad died, there was a chief in the Edom, the chief of the Timnah, Aliah, and Jessas. Olabamers, Elas, Pinons, Kenaz, Timan, Mibdras, Magdiel, and Iram were the chief of the Edom. First Chronicles chapter 2. These were the sons of the Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun. Then Joseph, the Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, Judah. The sons of the Judah were Uz, Onan, and Shelah. These three Bathsheba, a Canaanite woman, bore to him. But Judah's firstborn Uz was wicked in the sight of the Lord, so he took his life. Judah's daughter-in-laws Tamar bore him Perez and Zerah, so that he had 5 sons in Uz. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamuz. The sons of the Zerah were Zimni, Etans, Himans, Kalkos, and Dadar, 5 in Uz. The son of the Zimni, Carmi, the son of the Carmis, Achars, who brought the trouble upon Israel by violating the ban. The sons of the Etan, the Azariah. The sons born to the Hezron were Zerah, Meroz, Ram, and Cherubai. Ram became the father of the Aminadabs, and Aminadab became the father of the Nahshon, a prince of the Judahites. Nahshon became the father of the Salmans. Salma became the father of the Boaz. Boaz became the father of the Obed. Obed became the father of the Jesh. Jesh became the father of the Eliab. He is the firstborn of the Abinadab. The second son, the Shemiel, the third. Nathaniel the fourth, Ladai the fifth, Ozem the sixth, and David the seventh. Their sister was Zeruiah and Abigail. Zeruiah had 3 sons, Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Abigail bore Amasa, whose father was Jethro the Ishmaelite. By his wife Azubah, Caleb, son of the Hezron, became the father of the daughter Jerios. His son was Jeshua, Shobab, and Adrons. When Azubah died, Caleb married Ephras, who bore him Hur. Hur became the father of the Uri, and Uri became the father of the Bezalels. Then Hezron had a relation with the daughter of the Machos, the father of the Gileads, whom he married when he was 60 years old. She bore him Segor. Segor became the father of the Zar, who possessed 23 cities in the land of the Gileads. Geshur and Aram took from them the village of the Zar, that is Genaros and its towns, 6 cities in all, which had belonged to the sons of the Machor, the father of the Gileads. After the death of the Hezron, Caleb had a relation with Ephrathah, the widow of his father Hezron, and she bore him Ashur, the father of the Tekoas. The son of the Zeramer, the firstborn of the Hezron, wore a lamb. The firstborn then born Ner, Oren, and Ozem, his brothers. Zeramer also had another wife named Adarah, who was the mother of the Onams. The son of the Ram, the firstborn of the Zeramer, were Mars, Jamin, and Ikos. The sons of the Onam were Shammai and Zadok. Sons of the Shammai were Nadab and Abishur. Abishur's wife, who was named Abihail, bore him Ebrod and Molet. The son of the Nadab was Selad and Alpham. Selad died childless. The son of the Alpham, Ish. The son of the Ish, Shushan. The sons of the Shushan are Lai. The son of the Zada, the brother of the Shammai, were Zeta and Jonathan. Zeta died childless. The sons of the Jonathan were Pelas and Zaza, and these were sons of the Zerameros. Shushan had no sons, only daughters. He had an Egyptian slave named Zerah. Shushan gave his daughter in marriage to his slave Zerah, and she bore him Attai. Attai became the father of the Nathan. Nathan became the father of the Zabed. Zabed became the father of the Ephralas. Ephraim became the father of the Obed. Obed became the father of the Zehu. Zehu became the father of the Azariah. Azariah became the father of the Helez. Helez became the father of the Elisha. Elisha became the father of the Sismai. Sismai became the father of the Shaloms. Shalom became the father of the Zechariah. Zechariah became the father of the Elish Amos. The son of the Caleb, the brother of the Zeramer, the Mesha, his firstborn, who was the father of the Zips. Then the sons of the Maresha, who was the father of the Hebron. The sons of the Hebron were Korah, Tapra, Rakem, and Shuma. Shuma became the father of the Lahams, who was the father of the Zerkims. Rakem became the father of the Shammai. The son of the Shammai, Ma'on, who was the father of the Bezjors. Ephraim, Caleb's concubine, bore Haran, Motra, and the Gazes. Haran became the father of the Gazes. The sons of the Zadai were Lechem, Jotam, Geshan, Pelet, Ephraim, and Shaphus. Makkah, Caleb's concubine, bore Shubra and Tiranas. She also bore Shaphat, the father of the Medmanar, the Shuba, the father of the Mechbethnar, and the father of the Gibeah. Achar was Caleb's daughters. These were the sons Caleb, son of the Hur, the firstborn of the Ephrathas, Shobal, the father of the Gileads, the Zerim. Salma, the father of the Bethlehem, and the Harleps, the father of the Beth Gadors. The son of the Shobal, the father of the Gileads, the Jerim, were Leaiah, harp of the Manahathite. And the clan of the Gileads, the Jerim, the Ithrite, the Puthite, the Shumathite, and the Mishraite. From these the Joahite and the Eshotarite derived. The son of the son was Bethlehem the Nephilite. At Luz Bet Joab, half of the Manahathite and the Jorite. The clan of the Salpharim, the dwelling in the Japheth, were in the Teatite and the Shematite and the Sukkatite. They were the Kenite who descended from Hamas, the ancestor of the Rechabite. First Chronicles chapter 3. These were the sons of David born to him in Hebron. The first one Amnon by Abinoam of the Zedorah, the second Daniel by Abigail of the Carmel. The third Absalom son of the Maachas, who was the daughter of the Talmai, king of the Geshur. The fourth Adonijah son of the Haggis. The fifth Shephatiah by Abital. The sixth Ithream by his wife Ilgaz. 6 in all were born to him in Hebron, where he reigned 7 years and 6 months. Then he reigned 33 years in Jerusalem. In Jerusalem the following were born to him: Shimea, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon. 4 by Bathsheba, the daughter of the Ammias. Iphaz, Elishua, Eliphelet, Norgaz, Nephlex, Japhia, Elishama, Eliada, and Eliphelet, 9. All these were the sons of David, in addition to the other sons by concubines, and Tamar was their sisters. The son of the Solomon was Rehoboam, whose son was Abijah, whose son was Asa, whose son was Jehoshaphat, whose son was Joram, whose son was Ahaziah, whose son was Joash, whose son was Amaziah, whose son was Azariah, whose son was Jotham, whose son was Ahaz, whose son was Hezekiah, whose son was Manasseh, whose son was Ammon, whose son was Joshua. The son of the Joshua were the firstborn Johanan, the second Joachim, the third Zedekiah, the fourth Salom. The sons of the Joachim were Jeconiah, his son, Zedekiah, his son. The sons of the Jeconiah, the captive, were Sealtias, Bachram's Pedaiah, Selajah's Zechariah, Hoshama, and Didaviah. The sons of the Pedaiah were Zerubbabel and Shimei. The sons of the Zerubbabel were Meshullam and Hananiah. Shalomis was their sister. The sons of the Meshullam was Hashubah, Oel, Berechiah, Hasadiah, Jesha, Beshad, 5. The sons of the Hananiah were Pelatiah, Jesaiah, Lepiah, Aran's Obadiah, and Shekaniah. The sons of the Shekaniah were the Shemaiah, Hattush, Igal, Boriah, Neariah, Shaphat, 6. The sons of the Neariah were the Eloinites, Hezekiah, and Azrikam, 3. The sons of the Eloini was Hadobebiah, Elishashibs, Pelaliahs, Akros, Joadnan, Deliah, and Ananis, 7. Chronicles chapter 4. The son of the Judah were Perez, Hezron, Carmes, Hur, and Shobal. Leiah, the son of the Shobal, became the father of the Zahars. The Zahars became the father of the Almai and the Lahat. These were the clan of the Zerothite. These were the son of the Harlach, the father of the Etam, Jezreel, the Ishma, and the Idibash. Their sister was named Hezeleponis. Peniel was the father of the Gidor, and Uzzah the father of the Hushah. These were the sons of the Hur, the firstborn of the Ephrathah, the father of the Bethlehem. Ashur, the father of the Tekoa, had two wives, Helah and Naras. Nala bore him the Azjem, the Haphor, the Temanite, and the Ashalathalite. These were the sons of the Nara. The son of the Helah was Jeraz, Izhar, Ethan, and Koz. Koz became the father of the Anob and the Jobbar, as well as of the clan of the Alarai, son of the Harum. Jabez was the most distinguished of his brother. His mother had named him Jabez, saying, I bore him with pains. Jabez prayed to the God of Israel, Oh, that you may truly bless me and extend my boundaries. May your hand be with me and make me free of the misfortune without pains. And God granted his prayer. Chalab, the brother of the Shuhar, became the father of the Mihar, who was the father of the Ashtones. Ashton became the father of the Beslapras, the Pasera, and the Tiana, the father of the city of the Nahash. These were the men of the Likar. The son of the Kenaz was Othniel and Seraiah. The son of the Othniel were Hattas and Meonothai. Meonothai became the father of the Ophrah. Seraiah became the father of the Joab, the father of the Kerashalishin, so called because they were artisans. The son of the Caleb, son of the Jephunner, were Eruz, Elah, and Nam. The son of the Elah, Kenaz. The son of the Jeraleles were Jipra, Tiriah, and Asaras. The son of the Israel were Zethar, Merid, Ephro, and Zalon. Jerah became father of the Miriam, Shammai, and Ishbar, the father of the Ishitimuas. Merah, the Egyptian wife, bore Zerah, the father of the Gidro, Hebrew, the father of the Sokor, and Zuptiel, the father of the Zanoars. These were the sons of the Bethiars, the daughter of the Pharaoh, whom Miriam married. The son of his Jewish wife, the sister of the Naham, the father of the Kerala, were Shimon the Gamite and Ushi the Makatite. The son of the Shimon were Ammon, the Lina, Ben-Hanan, and the Tiron. The son of the Ishi were Johash, and the son of the Johash. The son of the Shura, son of the Judah, were Er, the father of the Lika. Lada, the father of the Marashah, the clan of the linen weavers, guild in the Bethsheba. Joachim, the people of the Kozibra, and Joish and the Sarafot, who held property in Moab, but returned to Bethlehem. These are events of the old. They were poor and inhabitants of the Netaim and the Gederahs, where they lived in the king's service. Simeon. The sons of the Simeon were Nemuel, Jamin, Zatin, Jorah, and Saul, whose son was Salom, whose son was Mibsam, whose son was Mishma. The son of the Mishma were his son Hamuel, whose son was Zakur, whose son was Shimei. Shimei had 16 sons and 6 daughters. His brother, however, did not have many sons, and as a result, all their clan did not equal the number of the Judahites. They dwelt in the Beersheba, Molada, Hazar Showers, Bilhaz, Izem, Tored, Betuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Macobos, Hazar Susim, Beth Biri, and Sharlimes. Until the reign of David, these were their cities. And their village, Etam also, and Ain, Rimmon, Tochan, and Ashan, 5 cities. Together with all their outlying villages as far as Bar, he was where they dwelt, and so it was inscribed of them in their family records. Meshobab, Jamlech, Joshua, son of the Amaziah. Joel, Jehu, son of the Joshibiah, son of the Seraiah, son of the Asiel. Elionai, Jacobai, Jeshoiah, Azariah, Adiel, Jesmiel, Benaniah, Ziza, son of the Shephi, son of the Alon, son of the Zediah, son of the Shimni, son of the Shemaiah. These just named were princes in their clans, and their ancestral houses spread out to such an extent that they went to the approach of the Kidron east of the valley, seeking pasture for their flocks. They found abundant and good pastures, and the land was spacious, quiet, and peaceful, for the Hamites dwelt there formerly. They who have just been listed by name set out during the reign of the Hezekiah, king of the Judah, and attacked their tent and also Munite who were there. They put them under the ban that is still in force to this day, and dwelt in their place because they found pasture there for their flocks. 500 of them, the Shimonites, went to the Mount Seir with Belatiah, Neariah, Lepaliah, and Uzziel, son of the Ishi, at their heads. They attacked the surviving Amalekites who had escaped and had lived there to the present day. Chronicles chapter 5. Reuben. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, he was indeed the firstborn, but because he defied the culture of his father, his birthright was given to sons of Joseph. Son of Israel, so that he is now listed in the family records according to the birthright. Judah, in fact, became powerful among his brothers, so that the ruler came from him, though the birthright had been Joseph. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, were Hanok, Paros, Hezron, and Gamnis. His son was Joel, whose son was Shemaiah, whose son was Gog, whose son was Shimei, whose son was Micah, whose son was Reiah, whose son was Bar, whose son was Piras, whom Tiglath-Pileser, the king of Assyria, took into exile. He was a prince of the Reubenites. His brother, who belonged to his clans when they were listed in the family records according to their descendants, were Jael the chief and Zecharias. And the Bela, son of the Azaz, son of the Shema, son of the Joel, the Reubenite, lived in Aror and as far as Nebo and Baal-meons. Toward the east, they dwelt as far as the wilderness which extended from the Euphrates rivers, for they had much livestock in the land of the Gilead. In Saul's time, they waged war with the Hagrites, and when they had defeated them, they dwelt in the tent throughout the region east of the Gilead. The Gadite river alongside them in the land of the Bashan as far as Salakars. Joel was chief, the Shaphan was second in the command, and the Zanai was judge in the Bashan. Their brothers, according to their ancestral houses, were Michaels, Meshulam, Sheba, Jorai, Zakan, Zia, and Eber, 7. These were the sons of the Abihail, son of the Huri, son of the Zarah, son of the Gilead, son of the Michaels, son of the Jeshishai, son of the Zador, son of the Birds. Ahi, son of the Abidiel, son of the Guni, was the head of their ancestral houses. They dwelt in the Gilead, in the Bashan, in the east towns, and in all pasture land of the Syrian to the borders. All were listed in the family records in the time of the Jotham, king of the Judah, and of the Jeroboam, king of the Israel. The Reubenite, Gadite, and the half tribe of the Manasseh were warriors, men who bore shield and sword and who drew the bow. Trained in the warfare, 44,760 men fit for the military service. When they waged war against the Hagrites and against the Zither, Nephish, and Nodabs, they received help so that the Hagrites and all who were with them were delivered into the power. For during the battle they cried out to the God, and he heard them because they had put their trust in him. Along with the 100,000 persons, they also captured their livestock, 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep, and 2,000 donkeys. Many were slain and fell from God the victory. They dwelt in their place until the time of the exile. The half tribe of the Manasseh. The half tribe of the Manasseh lived in the land of the Bashan as far as Baal Hermon, Sinor, and Mount Hermon. They were numerous. The following were heads of their ancestral houses: Ephraim, Issy, Eliel, Azarias, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, and Zaidias, men who were warriors, famous men, and heads over their ancestral houses. However, they acted treacherously toward the God of their ancestors by prostituting themselves to follow the God of the people of the land, whom God had destroyed before them. Therefore the God of Israel stirred up against them the anger of the Pur, king of the Assyria, and the anger of the Tiglath-Pileser, king of the Assyria, who deported the Reubenite and the Gadites and all half tribe of the Manasseh, and brought them to Halas, Harbor, and Hala, and to the river Gozan, where they have remained to this day. Levi. The sons of the Levi were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of the Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The children of the Amram were Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. The sons of the Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Eleazar became the father of the Phinehas. Phinehas became the father of the Abishua. Abishua became the father of the Bukki. Bukki became the father of the Uzi. Uzi became the father of the Zerahiah. Zerahiah became the father of the Meraios. Meraios became the father of the Amariah. Amariah became the father of the Aitros. Aitor became the father of the Zadok. Zadok became the father of the Imars. Imars became the father of the Azariah. Azariah became the father of the Johanans. Joanna became the father of the Azariah, who served as a priest in the temple Solomon built in Jerusalem. Azariah became the father of the Amariah. Amariah became the father of the Aitors. Aitor became the father of the Zadok. Zadok became the father of the Saloms. Salom became the father of the Hilkiah. Hilkiah became the father of the Azariah. Azariah became the father of the Seraiah. Seraiah became the father of the Zeozadoks. Zeozadok was one of those who went into the exile which the Lord inflicted on Judah and Jerusalem through Nebuchadnezzar. First Chronicles chapter 6. The sons of the Levi was Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of the Gershon were named Libni and Shimei. The sons of the Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The sons of the Merari were Mahli and Mushi. These were the clan of the Levi according to their ancestors. Of Gershon his son Libni, whose son was Jahaz, whose son was Jimmer, whose son was Joah, whose son was Edo, whose son was Zerah, whose son was Zethariah. The sons of the Kohath, his sons Aminadab, whose son was Korah, whose son was Asher, whose son was Elkanah, whose son was Epiasaph, whose son was Aser, whose son was Taharus, whose son was Uriel, whose son was Uzziah, whose son was Shaul. The sons of the Elkanah were Amasai and Amos, whose son was Elkanah, whose son was Jophai, whose son was Nahas, whose son was Eliab, whose son was Jeroham, whose son was Elkanah, whose son was Samuel. The sons of the Samuel were Joel, the firstborn, and Abijah, the second. The sons of the Morales, whose son was Libni, whose son was Shimei, whose son was Uzzah, whose son was Shemiah, whose son was Hakiah, whose son was Asai. The following were established by David for service of the song in the Lord's house at the time when the ark had a resting place. They served as singers before the tabernacle of the tent of the meeting until Solomon built the house of the Lord in Jerusalem, and they performed their service according to the order prescribed for them. Those who so performed are the following together with their sons among the Kohathites: Heman, Chantor, son of Joel, son of the Samuel, son of the Elkanah, son of the Jeroham, son of the Eliah, son of the Toah, son of the Jupur, son of the Elkanah, son of the Mahas, son of the Amasi, son of the Elkanah, son of the Joel, son of the Azariah, son of the Zephaniah, son of the Taharus, son of the Asor, son of the Ebiasaph, son of the Korah, son of the Ichor, son of the Kohath, son of the Levi, son of the Israel. His brother Asaph stood at his right hand. Asaph was the son of the Berechiah, son of the Shemiah, son of the Michael, son of the Basaiah, son of the Malchijah, son of the Adonijah, son of the Zerah, son of the Adiah, son of the Ethan, son of the Jimal, son of the Shimei, son of the Zahar, son of the Gershon, son of the Levi. Their brother the Merarite stood at the left, Ethan, son of the Kish, son of the Abdi, son of the Maluk, son of the Hasabiah, son of the Amaziah, son of the Hilkiah, son of the Amzi, son of the Bani, son of the Shimon, son of the Mali, son of the Bushi, son of the Meralis, son of Levi. Their brother Levi were appointed to all the other service of the tabernacle of the house of the God. However, it was Aaron and his son who made the sacrifice on the altar for burnt offering and on the altar of the incense. They alone had charge of the Holy of the Holies and the making atonement for Israel, as Moses, the servant of the God, had commanded. This was son of the Aaron, his son Eleazar, whose son was Phinehas, whose son was Abishua, whose son was Bakki, whose son was Uzi, whose son was Zerahiah, whose son was Meraos, whose son was Amariah, whose son was Ithos, whose son was Zadok, whose son was Ahimaaz. The following were their dwelling places by encampment in the territories to the son of the Aaron who belonged to the clan of the Kohathites, since the lot fell to them. Was assigned to Hebron in the land of the Judah with its adjacent pasture land. However, the country and the village belonged to the city had been given to the Caleb, the son of the Jephthonians. They were assigned to the son of the Aaron, Hebron, the city of the refuge, Libnah with its pasture land, Jathror with its pasture land, Eshitemoa with its pasture land, Holon with its pasture land, Dibor with its pasture lands, Ashan with its pasture land, Zeta with its pasture land, and Beth-shemesh with its pasture land. Also from the tribe of the Benjamin, Gibeon with its pasture land, Gibeah its pasture land, Almon with its pasture land, Anathoth with its pasture land. In all, they had 13 cities with their pasture lands. The Israelites assigned this city with the pasture land to the Levites, designating them by name and assigning them by lot from the tribe of the Judahite, the Simonite, and the Benjaminite. The other Kohathite obtained 10 cities by lot for their clan for the tribe of the Ephraim, from the tribe of the Dan, and from the half tribe of the Manasseh. The clan of the Gershonite obtained 13 cities from the tribe of the Issachars, Asher, and Naphtali, and from the half tribe of the Manasseh in Bashan. The clan of the Merarite obtained 12 cities by lot from the tribe of the Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. The clan of the Kohathite obtained the city by lot from the tribe of the Ephraim. They were assigned the city of the Lachish, Shechem in the mountain region of the Ephraim with its pasture land, Gaza with its pasture land, Kibzam with its pasture land, and Beth Horon with its pasture land. From the tribe of the Dan, Eltiki with its pasture land, Gibbethons with its pasture land, Azalon with its pasture land, and Gas Rimmon with its pasture land. From the half tribe of the Manasseh, Tanar with its pasture land, and the Ibrahim with the pasture land. These belong to the rest of the Kohathite clans. The clan of the Gershonite listed from the half tribe of the Manasseh, Goran in the Bashan with the pasture land, and the Ashtaroth with its pasture land. From the tribe of the Issachar, Kadesh with its pasture land, Daboras with its pasture land, Lamos with its pasture land, and Enganim with its pasture land. From the tribe of Asher, Mashal with its pasture land, Abdon with its pasture land, Hilkas with its pasture land, and Lehos with its pasture land. From the tribe of the Naphtali, Kadesh in the Galilee with its pasture land, Hamron with its pasture land, and Kiriathaim with its pasture land. The rest of the Merarite listed from the tribe of Zebulun, Zokunim with its pasture land, Galadar with its pasture land, Rimmon with its pasture land, and Tabor with its pasture land. Across the Jordan at Jericho, that is east of the Jordan, they received from the tribe of Reuben, Bezor in the desert with its pasture land, Jars with its pasture land, Kedemoth with its pasture land, and Mephas with its pasture land. From the tribe of the Gad, the Lamos in the Gilead with its pasture land, Mahanaim with its pasture land, Heshbon with its pasture land, and Zazer with its pasture land. 1 Chronicles chapter 7. Issachar. The son of the Issachar were Torah, Puaz, Jashub, and Shimron of first. The sons of the Torah were Uzi, Lepaniah, Zariah, Jamai, Ibsham, and Shemuel, heads of the ancestor houses of the Torah. Might words in their generation. In the time of the David, they numbered 22,600. The sons of the Uzi, Izariah. The son of the Izariah were Michus, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishua. All 5 of these were chiefs. Along with them in their generation, according to the ancestral houses, were 36,000 men in organized military troops, since they had more wives and children. Then their fellow tribesmen in all clans of the Issachar, there was a total of 87,000 warriors listed in their family records. Benjamin. The sons of the Benjamin were Bela, Bethel, and Zediah priest. The sons of the Bela were Itzbon, Uzi, Uzziel, Jerimoth, and Iris. 5. They were head of their ancestral houses and the warriors. Their family records reached 22,034. The sons of the Bechor was Jemiraz, Joash, Eliza, Eloi, Nais, Omni, Zeromos, Abijaz, Anathoth, and Alamas. All these were sons of the Bechors. Their family records reached 20,200 of their kindred who were head of their ancestral houses and the warriors. The sons of the Zedairs, Bilhan. The sons of the Bilhan were Zeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Chananas, Zetan, Tashish, and Aisharhas. All these were sons of the Zedaiah, head of the ancestral house and the warriors. They numbered 17,200 men fit for the military service. Shokhan and Hokhams, Dan, Naphtali, and Manasseh. The sons of the Dan, Hushim. The sons of the Naphtali were Zezer, Guni, Zezer, and Shalom. These were the sons of the Bilhah. The sons of the Manasseh, whom his Armin's concubine Boaz, Shibra Makors, the father of the Gileads. Makors took a wife whose name was Makars. His sister name was Morechas. Manasseh's second son was named Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Malchor's wife bore a son who she named Perez. He had a brother named Seres, whose son was Uram and Laken. The sons of the Uram, Bedan. These were the sons of the Gilead, son of the Machor, son of the Manasseh. His sister Morechas bore Ishhod, Abijor, and Mahalas. The sons of the Shemitah were Ahian, Shechem, Lik, and Anims, Ephraim. The sons of Ephraim, Shotelaz, whose son was Bered, whose son was Tahas, whose son was Elidah, whose son was Tahas. Whose son was Zabed, Ephraim's son, the Shotalaz, the Ezer, and the Erid, who were born in the land, who were killed by the inhabitants of the Gas, because they had gone down to take away their livestock. Their father Ephraim mourned a long time, but after his relative had come and comforted him, he had a relation with his wife, who conceived and bore a son who he named Boriah, since evil had befallen his house. He had a daughter Shurah, who bare the low and upper Beth Horon and Uzen Shurahs. Jabez's son was Raphah, whose son was Lashaph, whose son was Dela, whose son was Tahans, whose son was Ladan, whose son was Ammihud, whose son was Elishamas, whose son was Nun, whose son was Joshua. Their property and their dwelling were in Bethel and its towns, Naran to the east, Gezer its town to the west, and also Shechem and its town as far as Ayar and its towns. Manasseh, however, had possession of the Beth-Shean and its towns, Tanakh and its towns, Megiddo and its towns, and the Dor and its towns. In these dwelt the sons of the Joseph, the son of the Israel. Ashur. The sons of the Ashur were Imraz, Ashelphad, Ishvi, and Boriah. Their sister was Sarah. Boriah's sons was Hebron and Melchiah, who was the father of the Bozais. Heber became the father of the Zephret, Shomer, Hotham, and their sister Shua. The sons of the Zephret were the Pasak, Bimhar, and Ashelphas. These were the sons of the Zephret. The sons of the Shomer were Ahi, Lokahaz, Jebubah, and Arams. The sons of his brother Hotham were Zobhaz, Imran, Shiraris, and Amars. The sons of the Zophar were the Suaz, Chronicles, the Shual, Beri, Imras. Bija had Shama, Shuas, Itran, and Bira. The sons of the Jetha was Jephuners, the Pit, and Aras. The sons of the Ura were Aras, Hanir, and Lycia. All these were the sons of the Aisha, head of the ancestral houses, distinguished men, warriors, and chief among the princes. Their family record numbered 26,000 men fit for the military service. Chronicles chapter 8 Benjamin. Benjamin became the father of the Bela, his firstborn Ashbel, the second son Ahara, the third, Noha the fourth, and Rapha the fifth. The sons of the Bela were Ada and Gira, the father of the Ehud. The sons of the Ehud was Abishua, Naaman, Horas, Gira, Shapharfan, and Huram. These were the sons of the Ehud, the family head of all those who dwelt in the Gibeah and were deported to the Manahas. Also, Naaman's Aisha and Gira, the rest who led them into exile, became the father of the Uzzah and the Ihud. Sharaim became a father on the Moabite, fled to after he had put away his wives Hushim and Barak. By his wife Hodesh he begat Jobab, Zibiah, Masha, Markams, Jeuz, Sakia, and Mirah. These were his sons and family heads. By Hushim he begat Abitob and Alpars. The sons of the Alpar were Ebros, Misham, Shamat, who built the Ono and the road with its nearby towns. And the Beriah and the Shema, they were family head of those who dwelt in the Izarons, and they put the inhabitants of the Gaz to flight. Their relatives were the Epar, the Shashak, and the Jeremos, Zebadiah, Arad, Edos, Michael, Ishbars, and Joab were the sons of the Beriah. Zebadiah, Meshullam, Hiski, Hiba, Ishmerais, Israeliah, and Jobab were the sons of the Irbars. Zekim, Zikri, Jabdis, Elinais, Ziletais, Ariels. Adiah, Beriah, and Shemarites was the sons of the Shemais. Ishban, Irbos, Ariels, Abdon, Zikris, Hananiah, Elams, Atotijars. And the Benor were the sons of the Shashaks. Shasharias, Shisariah, Atalias, Jasishai, Eliah, and Zikri were the sons of the Zeroham. These were the family head of the Indian generation, chief who dwelt in Jerusalem. Gibeon dwelt Zair, the founder of the Gibeon, whose wife was named Marcos. And his firstborn sons Abdon and Joel, Kishepar, Nuz, Nadab. Hido Eos, Zechor, and Miklos. Miklos became the father of the Shemesh. These two dwelt with the relative in the Jerusalem opposite their fellow tribesmen. Nur became the father of the Kish, and the Kish became the father of the Saul. Saul became the father of the Jonathan, Malchishuras, Abinadab, and Eshbar. The son of the Jonathan was Medibar, and Medibar became the father of the Mikars. The son of the Mikar was Pitons, Melech, Dariah, and Ahaz. Ahaz became the father of the Zerodah, and Zerodah became the father of the Armas, Azmaphes, and Jimni. Jimni became the father of the Moza. Moza became the father of the Biniah, whose son was Lapha, whose son was Elisa, whose son was Azer. Azer had 6 sons, whose name was Azrikam, his firstborn Ishmael, Shariah, Azariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. All these was the son of the Azel. The son of the Eshak, his brother were Uram, his firstborn Jeus, the second son, and Eliphalet, the third. The sons of the Uram were warriors skilled with the bow, and they had many sons and grandsons, 150. All these were the sons of the Benjamin. Chronicles chapter 9. Thus all Israel was listed in the family list, and these are the recorded in the book of the kings of the Israel. Now Judah had been exiled to the Babylon because of his treacheries. The first to settle again in the city and dwell there were the certain Israelites, the priest, the Levite, and the temple servant. Jerusalemites. In Jerusalem lived the Judahite and the Benjaminite, also Ephraimite and the Manassite. Among the Judahite was Uttai, son of the Amidhod, son of the Omni, son of the Imni, son of the Bani, one of the two sons of the Perez, son of the Judah. Among the Shulanites were Isaiah, the firstborn, and his sons. Among the Zerahites were Joel and 690 of their relatives. Among the Benjamites were Salu, son of the Meshulam, son of the Hodaviah, son of the Hasenuah, as well as Ibniah, son of the Zeram, Era, son of the Uchi, son of the Mikiris, Meshullam, son of the Saphatiah, son of the Ruel, son of the Ibnizjar. Their kindred, the various families were 956. All those named were heads of their ancestral houses. Among the priests were Zediah, Jeroaribs, Jachins, Adaliah, son of the Hilkiah, son of the Meshullam, son of the Zadok, son of the Moraos, son of the Aitros, the ruler of the house of the Gad. Adiah, son of the Zeroham, son of the Pesahor, son of the Marjijard, Masai, son of the Adir, son of the Zajirah, son of the Meshullam, son of the Meshulamis, son of the Imran. Their brother head of their ancient houses were 1,760, valiant in the work of the service of the house of the God. Among the Levites was the Shemaiah, son of the Hashab, son of the Azirikam, son of the Hashabiah, one of the sons of the Moralists. Horesi, Galaz, Mattaniah, son of the Micah, son of the Zikjiris, a descendant of the Asaph. Obadiah, son of the Shemaiah, son of the Galal, a descendant of the Zedutuns, and Berechiah, son of the Asa, son of the Elkanah, whose family lived in the village of the Netophathite. The gatekeeper was Shalom, Akrux, Talmons, Aiman, and their brother Salom was the chief. Previously, they had stood guard at the king's gate on the east side. Now they became gatekeepers for the encampment of the Levite. Salom, son of the Korah, son of the Ibazar, a descendant of the Korah, and his brother of the same ancient house of the Korahite, had as their assigned task the guarding of the threshold of the tent, just as their father had guarded the entrance to the encampment of the Lord. The first son of the Eliezer had been their chief in the times past. The Lord was with him. Zechariah, son of the Mashalemiah, guarded the gate of the tent of the meeting. In all, those who were chosen for gatekeeper at the household were 212. They were inscribed in the family record of their village. David and Samuel the seer had established them in their position of the trust. Thus they and their son kept the guard over the gate of the house of the Lord, the house which was then a tent. The gatekeepers were stationed at the four sides, to the east, the west, the north, and the south. Their brother who lived in their own village took turn in assisting them for 7-day periods. While the 4 chief gatekeepers were on permanent duty, these were the Levites who was also charge of the chambers and the treasure of the house of the God. They would spend the night near the house of the God, for it was their charge and they had the duty of offering it each morning. Some of them had the charge of the vessels used there, tallying them as they were brought in and taken out. Others were appointed to take care of the utensils and all the sacred vessels, as well as the fine flour, the wine, the oil, the frankincense, and the spices. It was the sons of the priest, however, who mixed the spice, the ointment. Mithiah, one of the Levites, the firstborn of the Shalom the Korahite, was entrusted with preparing the cakes. Benaiah the Kohathite, one of their brothers, was in charge of setting out the showbread each Sabbath. These were the singers and the gatekeepers, the family heads over the Levites. They stayed in the chambers when free of the duties, for day and night they had to be ready for service. These were the Levitical family heads by their generation, chiefs who dwelt in Jerusalem. Genealogy of the Saul. Jael, the founder of the Gibeon, dwelt in the Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah. His firstborn son was Abdon. Then came Joash, Baal, Nur, Nadab, Giddo, Ahiruz, Zechariah, and Michlosh. Michlosh became the father of the Shimei. These two with the relative dwelt opposite their relative in Jerusalem. Nur became the father of the Kish, and Kish became the father of the Saul. Saul became the father of the Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Ishbar. The son of the Jonathan was Meribah, and Meribah became the father of the Micah. The son of the Micah were Pitons, Malach, Dariah, and Ahaz. Ahaz became the father of the Jehoiada, and Jehoiada became the father of the Alamash, Azmavesh, and the Jimni. Jimni became the father of the Mocha. Mocha became the father of the Peniah, whose son was Rephaiah, whose son was Elsa, whose son was Azel. Azel had 6 sons, whose name was Azrikam. His firstborn Ismail, Shariah, Azariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of the Azel. Chronicles chapter 10, Death of the Saul and his son. Now the Philistines went to the war against Israel, and Israel fled before them, and they fell slain on the mountain Gilboa. The Philistines pressed harder after Saul and his son. When the Philistines had struck down Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua, sons of the Saul, the fury of the battle converged on Saul. Then the archer hit him, and he was severely wounded. Saul said to his armor-bearers, "Draw your sword and run me through, otherwise these uncircumcised will come and abuse me." But armor-bearer, badly frightened, refused. So Saul took his own sword and fell upon it. When the armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he too fell upon his sword and died. Thus Saul and his 3 sons, his whole house, died together. When all Israelites in the valley saw that Saul and his son had fled and that they had died, they abandoned their city and fled. Then the Philistines came and lived in those cities. On the following day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, they found Saul and his son fallen on the mountain Gilboa. They stripped him and took his head and his armor. These they sent throughout the land of the Philistines to bring good news to their idol and to the peoples. They put his armor in the temple of their god, but his skull they impaled at the temple of the Dagon, burial of the Saul. When the old inhabitants of the Jabesh heard all that the Philistines had done to Saul, All the warriors set out and recovered the corpse of the Saul and his sons. He brought them to Jabesh. They buried their bones under the ark of the Jabesh and fasted for 7 days. Thus Saul died because of his treason against the Lord in disobeying his word, and also because he had sought the counsel from a ghost. Written from the Lord, therefore the Lord took his life and turned his kingdom over to David, the son of the Jesse. Chronicles chapter 11, David is made king. Then all Israel gathered around David in Hebron, and they said, Look, we are your bone and your flesh. In days past, when Saul was still the king, it was you who led Israel in all its battles. And now the Lord your God has said to you, You shall shepherd my people Israel, you shall be ruler over my people Israel. Then all the elders of Israel came to the king of the Hebron. At Hebron, David made a covenant with them in the presence of the Lord. And they anointed David king over Israel in accordance with the word of the Lord given through Samuel. Jerusalem captured. Then David and all Israel went to the Jerusalem, that is Jebus, where the inhabitants of the land were called the Jebusites. The inhabitants of Jebus said to David, You shall not enter here. David nevertheless captured the fortress of the Zion, which is the city of the David. David said, Whoever strikes the Jebusite first shall be made the chief and captain. Joab, the son of the Zeruiah, was the first to attack, and so he became chief. David took up the rest in the fortress, which therefore was called the city of the David. He built up the city on all sides, from the middle all the way around. When Joab restored the rest of the city, David became ever more powerful, for the Lord of hosts was with him. David warriors. These were David's chief warriors who, together with all Israel, supported him in his reign in order to make him king, according to the Lord's words concerning Israel. Here is the list of the David warriors. Isbal, the son of the Hachmoni, chief of the three. He brandished his spear over 300, whom he had slain in the single encounters. Next to him was Eliezer, son of the Nodo, was Al-Haid, one of the three warriors. He was with David at the Pas Dammim, where the Philistines had massed for battles. There was a plot of the land full of the barleys, the people of the fleeing before the Philistines. But he took his stand in the middle of the plot to keep it safe and cut down the Philistines. Thus the Lord brought about great victories. 330 troops went down to the rock to David, who was in the cave of the Adullam, while the Philistines were encamped in the valley of the Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, and the Philistine garrison was at the Bethlehem. David had a strong craving and said, If only someone would give me a drink of the water from the cistern by the gate of the Bethlehem. Thereupon the three broke through the encampment of the Philistines, drew water from the cistern by the gate of the Bethlehem, and carried it back to David, but David refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out to the Lord, saying, God forbid that I should do such a thing. Could I drink the blood of these men who risked their lives? For at the risk of their lives they brought it, so he refused to drink it. Such deeds as these the three warriors performed. Abishai, the brother of the Joab, was the chief of the 30th. He brandished his spear over 300, whom he had slain. He made the name beside the tourist, but was twice as famous as any of the 30, becoming their leader. However, he did not attain to the threes. Benaiah, son of the Jehoiada, a valiant man of the mighty deeds from the Gebzir, killed the two sons of the Ariel of Moab. Also, he went down to kill the lion in the cistern on a snowy days. He likewise slew the Egyptian, whose men 5 cubits tall. The Egyptian carried a spear that was like a weaver's beam. But Benaiah came against him with a staff. He wrested the spear from the Egyptian hand and killed him with the spear. Such did and this Benaiah, the son of the Jehoiada, performed, and he made the name beside the 3 warriors. But was more famous than any of the 30. However, he did not attain to the 3. David put him in charge of his bodyguard. Also, these warriors are Asaiah, brother of the Joab, Elihana, son of the Do from Bethlehem, Shamas from the In-Haroz, Helaz from the Beth-Belat, Ira, son of the Ikes from Tekoa, Abizer from Anatos, Sibikai from the Hosea, Eli from Ahos, Maralai from the Netophath, Helai, the son of the Bana from Netophath, Ittai, son of the Levi from the Gibeons of the Benjamin, Benaiah from the Piratons, Hurai from the Nale Gashi, Abiel from Beth Arabah, Azmapheth from the Baruhims, Eliarba from Salabon, Jeshbon the Gunite, Jonathan, son of the Shageh the Hararite, Ahim, son of the Sakat the Harite, Eliphares, son of Ahasabai, from Beth Makai, Azhijar from Gilon, Hezro from Carmel, Nalai, son of the Izbai, Joel, brother of the Nathan, from the Rehob the Gidite, Select the Ammonite, the Nahalai from the Beeroth, the armor bearer of the Joab, son of the Zeruiah, Ira from the Jethro, Galal from the Jethros, Uriah the Hittite, the Jabed, son of the Alalais. And in addition to the 30, Adinor, son of the Shidra, the Reubenite, the chief of the tribe of the Reuben, Hanan, son of the Makkah, Joshaphat, the Midnight, Uzziah the Ashetarotite, Shammah and Zeir, son of the Hotam from Aroer, Jediah, son of the Shimri, and Joah his brother, and the Tizite, Eliad the Mahavite, Zerabai, and Josaphiah, son of the Elam, Itamiah from Moab, Eliel, Obed, and Zaziel the Mezobian. Chronicles chapter 12. David's early followers. The following men came to David in Ziklag while he was still under banishment from Saul, son of the Kish. They too were among the warriors who helped him in his battles. They were archers who could use either the right or the left hand, both in sling stone and in shooting arrows with the bow. They were some of Saul's kinsmen from Benjamin. Ahijah was their chief along with Joash, both son of the Sherma of the Gibeons, also Jezel and Belat, son of the Azmapheth, Berakah, Zehu from Anatos, Ishmael the Gibeonite, warrior among the 30 and over the 30s, and Jeremiah, Jahaziel, Johanan, and Jozabad from Gederah, Elzai, Jeremoth, Beraliah, Shemariah, Shephatiah the Haruphite, Elkanah, Ishua, Azarez, Joajar, and Isbal, who were Korahite, Joella and Zebadiah, son of the Jerah from Gidron. Some of the Gadite also went over to David when he was a stronghold in the wilderness. They were valiant warriors, experienced soldiers, equipped with the shield and the spear, fearsome as lions, swift as gazelles on the mountains. Ezer was their chief, Obadiah was second, Elabdros, Mishmamna fourth, Jeremiah fifth, Athiah sixth, Eliel seventh, Johan eighth, Elzabad ninth, Jeremiah 10th and Mechabani 11th. These Gadite were army commanders, the rest over hundreds and the great over thousands. It was they who crossed over the Jordan in their first months when it was overflowing both its banks, and chased away all who were in the valleys to the east and to the west. Some Benjamite and Judahite also came to David at the stronghold. David went out to meet them and addressed them in these words: "If you come peacefully to help me, I am of mind to have you join me. But if you have come to betray me to my enemies, though my hands had done too wrong, may the God of our ancestors see and punish you." Then Spirit clothed Amasai, the chief of the 30, and he answered David, "We are yours, O David. We are with you, son of Jesse. Peace, peace to you, and peace to him who helped you. May your God be your helper." So David received them and placed them among the lead of his troops. Men from Manasseh also deserted to David when he came with the Philistines to battle against Saul. However, he did not help the Philistines, for their Lord took counsel and sent him home, saying, "At the cost of our heads he will desert to his master Saul." As he was returning to the Ziklag, therefore these deserted to him from Manasseh: Adnah, Jozabad, Zediah, Micaiah, Jozabad, Elo, and Zelotai, chief of the 1,000 of the Manasseh. They helped David by taking charge of his troops, for they were all warriors and became command of his army. And from day to day, men kept coming to David's help until there was a vast encampment like God's encampment. Assembly of the Hebron. These are the most of the detachment of the armed troops that came to David at Hebron to bring Saul's kingdom over to him, as the Lord had ordained. Judahite bearing shield and spear, 6,800 armed troops. Of the Shimonite warriors fit for battle, 7,100. Of the Levite, 4,600. Along with the Zeoada, leader of the line of the Aarons, with the other 3,700. And the Zadok, young warriors with 22 princes of the father house. Of the Benjaminite, the kinsmen of the Saul, 3,000. Until this time, most of them had kept their allegiance to the house of Saul. Of the Ephraimite, 20,800 warriors, men renowned in their ancestral houses. Of the half tribe of the Manasseh, 18,000 designated by name to come and make David kings. Of the Issacharite, their chief, who were endowed with understanding the times and who knew what Israel had to do, 200 chiefs, together with all their kinsmen under their command. From Zebulun, men fit for the military service, set it better array with every kind of the weapon for wars, 50,000 men rallying with a single purpose. From Naphtali, 1,000 captain, and with them armed with shield and lance, 37,000 men. Of the Danite, set in better array, 18,600. From Ashur, fit for the military service, at the set it in better array, 40,000. From the other side of the Jordan, of the Reubenite, the Gadite, and the half tribe of the Manasseh, men equipped with every kind of the weapon of the war, 120,000. All these soldiers drawn up in the better order came to Hebron with the resolute intention of making David king over all Israel. The rest of the Israel was likewise of the one mind to make David king. They remained with David for 3 days, eating and drinking, for their relatives had prepared for them. Moreover, their neighbors from as far as Issachar, Zebulun, and Naphtali can bring food on donkeys, camels, mules, and oxen. Provision in great quantity of the mirrors, pressed figs, raisins, wine, oil, oxen, and sheep, for there was rejoicing in Israel. Our first Chronicles chapter 13, the transfer of the arks.
After David had taken counsel with his command of the 1,000 and of the 100, that is, with every leader, he said to the whole assembly of the Israel, if it seems good to you, and is so decreed by the Lord our God, let us send to the rest of our kindred from all the district of Israel, and also the priest and the Levite from their cities with the pastoral land, that they may join us. And let us bring the ark of our God here among us, for in the day of the sorrow we did not consult it. And the whole assembly agreed to do it, for it seems right in the eyes of all the peoples. Then David assembled all Israel from Sihor of Egypt to the river Hamas to bring the ark of God from Kiriath-Jearim. David and all Israel went up to the Baalah, that is to Kiriath-Jearim of Judah, to bring up from there the ark of God, which was known by the name of the Lord enthroned upon the cherubims. They transported the ark of God on a new cart from the house of the Abinadab. Uzzah and Ahiel were guiding the cart. While David and all Israel danced before God with all their might, with singing and with lyres, harps, tambourines, cymbals, and trumpets. As they reached the threshing floor of the Sidons, Uzzah stretched out his hand to steady the ark, for the oxen were tipping it. Then the Lord became angry with Uzzah and struck him, because he had laid his hand on the ark. He died there in God's presence. David was angry because the Lord's anger had broken out against Uzzah. Therefore, that place has been called Perez Uzzah even to this day. David was afraid of the God that day, and he said, how can I bring in the ark of God to me? Therefore he did not take the ark with him into the city of David, but deposited it instead at the house of the Obed-Edom the Gittite. The ark of God remained in the house of the Obed-Edom with his family for 3 months, and the Lord blessed Obed-Edom's household and all that he possessed. 1 Chronicles chapter 14, David in Jerusalem. Hiram, king of the Tyre, sent envoys to David along with the cedar wood and the mason and the carpenters to build him a house. David now knew that the Lord had truly established him as king over Israel, for his kingdom was greatly exalted for the sake of his people Israel. David took other wives in Jerusalem and became the father of the more sons and daughters. These are the names of those who were born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibram, Elishua, Elphalet, Nogas, Nepheg, Japhias, Elishama, Ada, and Eliphalet. The Philistine rose. When the Philistines had heard that David was anointed king over all Israel, they marched out in a force looking for him. But when David heard of this, he went out against them. Meanwhile, the Philistines had come and raided the valley of the Rephaim. David inquired of God, shall I attack the Philistines, and will you deliver them into my power? The Lord answered him, attack, for I will deliver them into your powers. So they attacked at Baal-perazim, and David defeated them there. Then David said, by my hand God has broken through my enemies, just as water breaks through a dam. Therefore that place was called Baal-perazim. The Philistines abandoned their God there, and David ordered them to be burned. Once again the Philistines raided the valleys. And again David inquired of the God, but God answered him, do not try to pursue them, but go around them and come against them near the balsam trees. When you hear the sound of the marching in the top of the balsam trees, then go forward to battle, for God has already gone before you to strike the army of the Philistines. David did as God commanded him, and they routed the Philistine army from Gibeon to Gezer. Thus David's fame was spread abroad through every land, and the Lord put the fear of him on all the nations. 1 Chronicles chapter 15, the preparation for moving the ark. David built the houses for himself in the city of David and prepared the place for the ark of God, pitching a tent for it there. At that time he said, "No one may carry the ark of God except the Levite, for the Lord chose them to carry the ark of the Lord and to minister to him forever." Then David assembled all Israel to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord to its place, which he had prepared for it. David also convened the son of the Aaron and the Levite, of the son of the Kohath, Uriel, their chiefs, and 120 of his brothers. Of the sons of the Merarites, Isaiah, their chiefs, and 220 of his brothers. Of the sons of the Gershon, Joel, their chief, and 130 of his brothers. Of the sons of the Elizaphan, the Shemaiah, their chief, and 200 of his brothers. Of the sons of the Hebrons, Ariel, their chief, and 80 of his brothers. Of the son of the Uzziel, Aminadab, their chief, and 112 of his brothers. David summoned the priest Zadok and Abiathar, and the Levite Uriel, Isaiah, Joel, Shemaiah, Ariel, and Aminadab, and said to them, "You heads of the Levitical houses, sanctify yourself along with your brother to bring up the ark of the Lord, the God of Israel, to the place which I will prepare for it. Because you were not with us the first time, the Lord our God broke out against us, for we did not seek him aright." Accordingly, the priest and the Levite sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of the Lord, the God of Israel. The Levite carried the ark of God on their shoulders with poles, as Moses had commanded according to the rule of the Lord. David commanded the commander of the Levite to appoint their brother as singers and to play on the musical instruments, harps, lyres, and cymbals, to make a loud sound of the rejoicings. Therefore the Levite appointed Heman, son of the Joel, and among his brothers Asaph, son of the Berechiah, and among the son of the Merarites, their brothers Ethan, son of the Cushiah. And together with these, their brother of their second rank, the gatekeepers, Zechariah, Uzziel, the Shema-Lamos, Jair, Unnis, Eliab, Benaiah, Messiah, Mattithias, Eliphaleus, Micnias, Obed-Edom, and Jair. The singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, sounded brass cymbals. Zechariah, Uzziel, Shema-Lamos, Jair, Unnis, Eliab, Messiah, and Benaiah played one harp set to Alamos. But Mattithiah, Eliphaleus, Micniah, Obed-Edom, and Jair read the song on lyres set to the Sheminis. Benaiah was the chief of the Levite in the singing. He directed the singing, for he was skillful. Berechiah and Elkanah were gatekeepers before the ark. The priest Shabaniah, Josaphat, Nathaniel, Amasai, Zechariah, Benaiah, and Elazar sounded the trumpet before the ark of God. Obed-Edom and Jair were also gatekeepers before the ark. The ark come to Jerusalem. Thus David, the elder of Israel, and the commander of the thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with joy from the house of the Obed-Edom. While God helped the Levite to carry the ark of the covenant of the Lord, they sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams. David was dressed in the robe of the fine linen, as were all the Levites who carried the ark, the singers, and the Cheniah, the reader of the song. David was also wearing a linen ephod. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with joyful shouting, to the sound of the horns, the trumpets, and the cymbals, and the music of the harps and the lyres. But as the ark of the covenant of the Lord was entering the city of David, Michal, the daughter of the Saul, looked down from her windows, and when she saw King David rapping and dancing, she despised him in her heart. First Chronicles chapter 16. They brought in ark of God and set it within tent which David had pitched for it. Then they sacrificed burnt offering and the communion offering to God. When David had finished the sacrifice, the burnt offering and the communion offerings, he blessed the people in the name of the Lord, and distributed to every Israelite, to every man and every woman, a loaf of the bread or the piece of meat and a raisin cake. David the directives for the Levite. He then appointed a certain Levite to minister before the ark of the Lord, to celebrate the thanks and praise the Lord, the God of Israel. Asaph was their chief, and second to him were Zechariah, Uzziel, Shema, Ramos, Zeir, Mattatiah, Elias, Benaiah, Obed-Edom, and Zair. These were to play on harps and lyres, while Asaph was to sound to cymbals. And the priests Benaiah and Jahaziel were to be regular trumpeters before the ark of the covenant of the God. On the same days, David appointed Asaph and his brother to sing for the first time this praise for the Lord. Give thanks to the Lord, invoke his name, make known among the peoples his deeds. Sing praise, play music, proclaim all the wondrous deeds, glory in his holy names, rejoice, O heart that seek the Lord. Rely on the mighty Lord, constantly seek his face, recall the wondrous deeds he has done, his sign and his words of the judgment. You son of Israel, his servant, the offspring of the Jacob, the chosen ones. The Lord is our God who rules the whole earth. He remembers forever his covenant, the pact imposed for 1,000 generations, which was made with Abraham, confirmed by oath to Isaac, and ratified as binding for Jacob, and everlasting covenant for Israel. To you will I give the land of the Canaan, you own allotted heritage, when they were few in numbers, a handful or a stranger there, wandering from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another. He let no one oppress them, for the sake he rebuked kings. Do not touch my anointed, to my prophet do no harm. Sing to the Lord, all the earth, announce his salvation day after day. Tell his glory among the nations, among all peoples, which wondrous deeds. For great is the Lord, and highly to be praised, to be feared above all gods. For the God of the nation all do nothing, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty go before him, power and rejoicing are in his holy place. Give to the Lord, your family of the nation, give to the Lord glory and might. Give to the Lord the glory due his name, bring gift and come before him. Bow down to the Lord, splendid in holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth, the world will surely stand fast, never to be moved. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Let them say among the nations, the Lord is King. Let us see and what fears it resound. Let the plains be joyful and all that is in them. Then let the tree of the forest exult before the Lord who comes to rule the earth. Give thanks to the Lord who is good, whose love endures forever. And say, save us, O God, our Savior, get us and deliver us from among the nations, that we may give thanks to your holy name and glory in praising you. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Then David left Asaph and his brother there before the ark of the covenant of the Lord to minister before the ark regularly according to the daily rituals. He also left there Obed-Edom and 68 of his brothers, including Obed-Edom, son of the Zedutuns, and Hosa, to be gatekeepers. But the priest Zadok and his priestly brother he left before the tabernacle of the Lord on the high place at the Gibeons, to make burnt offering to the Lord on the altar for burnt offering regularly morning and evening, and to do all that is written in the law of the Lord which he commanded Israel. With them were Heman and Zedutun and the others who were chosen and designated by name to give thanks to the Lord, whose love endures forever. With a trumpet and the cymbal for the accompaniment and the instrument for sacred songs, the sons of the Zebulun kept the gate. Then all the people departed each to their own homes, and David returned to bless his household. 1 Chronicles chapter 17, the oracle of the Nathan. After David had taken up the rations in his house, he said to Nathan the prophet, "See, I am living in a house of the cedar, but the ark of the covenant of the Lord is on the tent cloths." Nathan replied to David, "Whatever is in your heart, go and do, for God is with you." But that same night the word of God came to Nathan, "Go and tell David my servant, thus says the Lord, it is not you are to build this house for me to dwell in. For I have never dwelt in a house from the day I brought Israel up, even to this day, but I have been resting in tents or tabernacles. As long as I have wandered about with all Israel, did I ever say a word to any of the judges of Israel, whom I commanded to shepherd my peoples? Why have you not built me a house of the cedar? Now then speak thus to my servant David, thus says the Lord of the host, I took you from pasture, from following the flock, to become rule over my people Israel. I was with you wherever you went, and I cut down all your enemies before you. I will make your name like that of greatest on the earth. I'll assign a place for my people Israel, and I'll plant them in it to dwell there. They will never again be disturbed, nor shall the wicked ever again oppress them, as they did at the beginnings. And during all the time when I appointed judges over my people Israel, and I will subdue all your enemies. Moreover, I declare to you, the Lord will build to you a house. When your days have been complete and you must join your ancestor, I will raise up your offspring after you will be one of your own sons, and I will establish his kingdoms. He it is who shall build me a house, and I will establish his throne forever. I will be a father to him, and he shall be a son to me, and I will not withdraw my favor from him as I withdrew it from the one who was before you. But I will maintain him in my house and in my kingdom forever, and his throne shall be firmly established forever. In accordance with all these words and this whole vision, Nathan spoke to David the thanksgiving. Then King David came in and sat in the Lord's presence and said, Who am I, Lord God, and what is my house that you should have brought me so far? And yet even this too written in your sight, O God, for you have made the promise regarding your servant house reaching into the futures. And you have looked on me, and henceforth the most notable of the men, O Lord God. What more can David say to you? You have known your servant. Lord, for your servant's sake and in your keeping with your purpose, you have done these great things. Lord, there is no one like you, no God but you, just as you have always heard. Is there like your people Israel, whom you redeemed from Egypt, another nation on earth whom God went to redeem as his peoples? You won for yourself a name for great and awesome deeds by driving out the nations before your peoples. You made your people Israel your own forever, and your Lord became their God. Now, Lord, may the promise that you have spoken concerning your servant and his house remain firm forever. Bring out what you have promised. That your name, Lord of the hosts, the God of Israel, may be great and abide forever, while the house of your servant is established in your presence. Because you, my God, have revealed to your servant that you will build him a house, your servant dare to pray before you. Since your Lord are truly God and have made this generous promise to your servant, do then bless the house of your servant, that it may be you in your presence forever. Since it is you, Lord, you who blessed it, it is blessed forever. 1 Chronicles chapter 18, David's victories. After this, David defeated the Philistines and subdued them, and he took Gath and his town away from the control of the Philistines. He also defeated Moab, and the Moabites became David's subject, paying tribute. David then defeated the Hadadezzer, king of the Zobah, toward Hamas, who was on his way to set up his victory steadily at the river Euphrates. David captured from him 1,000 chariots, 7,000 horsemen, and 20,000 foot soldiers. David hamstrung all the chariot horses, but left 100 for his chariot. The armies of the Damascus came to help Hadadezzer, king of the Zobah, but David also defeated 22,000 of their men in Aram. Then David set up the garrison in the Damascus region of the Aram, and the Arameans became David's subjects, paying tribute. Thus the Lord made David victorious in all his campaigns. David took the golden shield that were carried by Hadadezer's attendant and brought them to Jerusalem. David likewise took away from the Tipton horse and city of the Hadadezzer a large quantity of the bronze. Solomon later used it to make the bronze sea and the pillars and the vessel of the bronze. When Tou, king of the Hamas, heard that David had defeated the entire army of the Hadadezzer, king of the Zobah, he sent his son Hadarom to wish King David well and to congratulate him on having waged a victory war against Hadadezzer. For Hadadezzer had been at war with Tou, he also brought gold, silver, and bronze articles of every sort. These also King David consecrated to the Lord, along with the old silver and gold that had taken from nations from Edom, Moab, the Ammonites, the Philistines, and the Amalekites. Abishai, the son of the Zeruiah, also defeated the 18,000 Edomites in the valley of the Salt. He set up the garrison in the Edom, and all the Edomites became David's subject. Thus the Lord brought David victory in all his undertakings. David, the officials. David was king over Israel. He dispensed justice and right to all his people. Joab, son of the Zeruiah, was in command of the army. Jehoshaphat, son of the Ahilud, was counselor. Zadok, son of the Ahitub, and Ahimelech, son of the Abiathar, were priests. Shah was the scribe. Benaiah, son of the Jehoiada, was in the command of the Cheretite and the Peletite, and David's son was the chief assistant to the kings. 1 Chronicles chapter 19, campaign against Ammon. Afterwards, Nahor, king of the Ammonites, died, and his son succeeded him as king. David said, I will show kindness to Hanun, the son of the Nahash, for his father showed kindness to me. Therefore he sent the envoys to console him over his father. But when the David's servant had entered the land of the Ammonites to console Hanun, the Ammonite prince said to Hanun, "Do you think David is doing this, sending you these consolers to honor your fathers? Have not his servant rather come to you to explore the land, saying it out for its overthrows?" So Hanun seized David's servant and had them saved, and their garment cut off halfway at the hips. Then he sent them away. David was told about that, and he sent the word for them to be intercepted, for the men had been greatly disgraced. "Remain at Jericho," the king told them, "until your beards have grown again, then come back here." When the Ammonites realized that they had put themselves in bad order with David, Hanun and the Ammonites sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire chariots and horsemen from Aram Naharaim, from Aram Makkah, and from Joppa. They hired 22,000 chariots along with the king Makkah and his army, who came and encamped before Medivra. The Ammonites also assembled from their city and came out for wars. When David heard of this, he sent Joab and his whole army of the warriors against them. The Ammonites marched out and lined up for battle at the entrance of the city, while the kings who had come to their help remained apart in the open fields. When Joab saw there was a battle line both in front and behind him, he chose some of the best fighters among the Israelites and lined them up against the Arameans. The rest of the army, which he placed under the command of his brother Abishai, then lined up to oppose the Ammonites. And he said, "If the Arameans prove too strong for me, you must come and save me. And if the Ammonites prove too strong for you, I will save you. Hold firm and let us show ourselves courageous for the sake of our people and the city of our God, and may the Lord do what is good in his sight." Joab therefore advanced with his men to engage the Arameans in battle, but they fled before him. And when the Ammonites saw the Arameans had fled, they too fled before his brother Abishai and entered their city. Joab then came to Jerusalem. Seeing themselves vanquished by Israel, the Arameans sent a messenger to bring out the Arameans from beyond the Euphrates, with Shaphat, the commander of the Hadad-Dizor army, at their head. When this was reported to David, he gathered all Israel together, crossed the Jordan, and met them. With the army of David drawn up to fight the Arameans, they gave battles. But the Arameans fled before Israel, and David killed 7,000 of their chariot fighters and 40,000 of their foot soldiers. He also put to death Shaphat, the commander of the army. When the vassals of the Hadad-Dizor saw themselves vanquished by Israel, they made peace with David and became his subject. After this, the Arameans refused to come to aid of the Ammonites. 1 Chronicles chapter 20. At the turn of the year, the time when King go to war, Joab led the army out in force, laid waste the land of the Ammonites, and went on to besiege Rabbah. David himself remained in Jerusalem when Joab had attacked Rabbah and destroyed it, but took the crown of the Milcom from the idol's head. It was found to weigh a talent of gold with a precious stone on it. This crown David wore on his own head. He also brought out a great amount of the spoil from the city. He deployed the people of the city and set them to work with saws, iron picks, and axes. David dealt thus with the old city of the Ammonites. Then David and his whole army returned to Jerusalem, a victory over the Philistines. Afterward, there was another battle with the Philistines at the Gizar. At that time, Sibbekai, the Hushathite, struck down Sibbai, one of the descendants of the Rephaim and the Philistines were subdued. There was another battle with the Philistines, and Elhanan, the son of the Jair, slew Lamith, brother of the Goliath of Gath, whose spear shaft was like a river's beam. There was another battle at Gath, and there was a giant who had 6 fingers to each hand and 6 toes to each foot. 24 in all, he too was descended from the Rephaim. He defied Israel, and Jonathan, the son of the Shimeah, David's brother, slew him. These were the descendants of the Rephaim of the Gath who died at the hands of David and his servants. 1 Chronicles chapter 21. David census the plague. Satan rose up against Israel, and he incited David to take a census of Israel. David therefore said to Joab and to the other general of the army, "Go number the Israelites from the Beersheba to Dan, and report back to me that I may know their number." But Joab replied, "May the Lord increase his people 100-fold. My lord kings are not all of them my lord subject. Why does my lord seek to do these things? Why should he bring guilt upon Israel?" However, the king's command prevailed over Joab, who departed and traversed all of Israel, and then returned to Jerusalem. Joab reported the census of fingers to David of men capable of wielding a sword. There were in all Israel 1,100,000, and in Judah 470,000. Levi and Benjamin, however, he did not include in the census, for the king's command were repugnant to Joab. This command was evil in the sight of God, and he struck Israel. Then David said to God, "I have sinned greatly in doing these things. Take away your servant guilt, for I have acted very foolishly." Then the Lord spoke to Gad, David's seer, in these words. "Go tell David, thus says the Lord, I am laying out 3 options. Choose one of them, and I'll inflict it on you." Accordingly, God went to David and said to him, "Thus says the Lord, decide now. Will it be 3 years of the famines and 3 months of the fleeing your enemies with the sword of your foes ever at your backs, or 3 days of the Lord's own sword, a plague in the land, with the world's destroying angel in the every fight of Israel? Now consider, what answer am I to give him who sent me?" Then David said to Gad, "I am in serious trouble, but let me fall into the hand of the Lord, whose mercy is very great, rather than into hands of man." Therefore the Lord sent the plague upon Israel, and 70,000 Israelites died. God also sent the angel to Jerusalem to destroy it, but as the angel was on the point of destroying it, the Lord saw that changed his mind about the calamities, and said to the destroying angel, "Enough now, stay your hand." Onan's the threshing floors. The angel of the Lord was then standing by your threshing floor of the Onan the Jebusite. When David raised his eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing between earth and heaven, drawn sword in hand, stretched out against Jerusalem. David and the elders, clothed in sackcloth, fell face down. And David prayed to God, "Was it now I who ordered the census of the peoples? I am the one who sinned. I did these wicked things, but these sheep, what have they done? O Lord my God, strike me and my father's families, but do not afflict your people with this plague." Then the angel of the Lord commanded Gad to tell David to go and set up an altar to the Lord on the threshing floor of the Onan the Jebusite. David went up the word of Gad, which he spoke in the name of the Lord. Onan turned around and saw the king, his 4 sons who were with him, hid themselves. But Onan kept on threshing wheat. But as David came toward Onan, he looked up and saw that it was David, and left the threshing floor and bowed down before David, his face to the ground. David said to Ornan, "Sell me the side of this threshing floor, that I may build on it an altar to the Lord. Sell it to me at its full price, that the brag may be withdrawn from the peoples." But Ornan said to David, "Take it as your own, and let my lord the king do what is good in his sight. See, I also give you the oxen for the burnt offering, the threshing sledge for the wood, and the wheat for the grain offering. I give it all to you." But King David replied to Ornan, "No, I'll buy it from your property at its full price. I'll not take what is yours for the Lord, nor bring burnt offering that cost me nothing." So David paid Ornan 600 shekels of the gold for the place, altar for the burnt offering. David then built the altar there to the Lord and sacrificed the burnt offering and the communion offering. He called upon the Lord, who answered him by sending down fire from heaven upon altar for burnt offering. Then the Lord gave orders to the angel to return his sword to its sheath. Once David saw the Lord had answered him at the threshing floor of the Ornan the Jebusite, he continued to offer sacrifice there. The tabernacle of the Lord, which Moses had made in the wilderness, and the altar for burnt offering were at that time on the high place at the Gibeon. But David could not go into his presence to inquire of the God, for he was fearful of the sword of angel of the Lord. 1 Chronicles chapter 22. Thus David said, "This is the house of the Lord God, and this is the altar for burnt offering for Israel." David then ordered that the resident area in the land of Israel should be brought together, and he appointed them stone cutters to hew out stone block for the building the house of the God. David also laid the large straw of the iron to make the narrow for the door of the gate, and the clamps together with so much bronze that it could not be weighed. And the cedar trees without numbers, the Sidonian and the Tyrians brought great straw of cedar logs to David. David said, "My son Solomon is young and inexperienced, but the house that is to be built for the Lord must be made so magnificent that it will be renowned and glorious in all lands. Therefore I will make a preparation for it." Thus before his death, David laid the materials in abundance, charged to Solomon. Then he summoned his son Solomon and commanded him to build the house for the Lord, the God of Israel. David said to Solomon, "My son, it was my purpose to build the house myself for the name of the Lord my God. But this word of the Lord came to me, you have shed much blood, and you have raised great wars. You may not build the house for my name, because you have shed too much blood upon the earth in my sight. However, a son will be born to you. He will be a faithful man, and I will give him a rest from all his enemies on every side. For Solomon shall be his name, and in his time I will bestow peace and tranquility on Israel. It is he who shall build the house for my name. He shall be a son to me, and I will be a father to him, and I will establish the throne of his kingship over Israel forever. Now, my son, the Lord be with you, and may you succeed in building the house of the Lord your God, as he has said you shall. But may the Lord give you prudence and discernment when he gives you command over Israel, so that you keep the law of the Lord your God. Only then shall you succeed, if you are careful to observe the statute and ordinance which the Lord commanded Moses for Israel. Be strong and steadfast, do not fear or be dismayed. See, with great effort I laid up for the house of the Lord 100,000 talents of the gold, 1,000,000 talents of the silver, and the bronze and the iron in such great quantities they cannot be weighed. I will also laid the wood and the stone, to which you must add. Moreover, you have available workers, stone cutters, masons, carpenters, and expert in every craft. Without number, skilled with gold, silver, bronze, and iron, set to work therefore, and the Lord be with you. Charge to the official. David also commanded all of the officials of the Israel to help his son Solomon. Is not the Lord your God with you? Has he not given you rest on every side? Indeed, he has delivered the inhabitants of the land into my power, and the land is subdued before the Lord and his peoples. Therefore, devote your heart and soul to the seeking the Lord your God. Proceed to build the sanctuary of the Lord God, that the ark of the covenant of the Lord and God's sacred vessels may be brought into the house filled for the name of the Lord. On 1 Chronicles chapter 23, the Levitical divisions. When David has grown old and was near the end of his days, he made his son Solomon king over Israel. He then gathered together all the officials of Israel along with the priests and the Levites. The Levites 30 years old and above were counted, and their total number was found to be 38,000. Of these, 24,000 were to direct the service of the house of the Lord, 6,000 were to be officials and judges. 4,000 were to be gatekeepers, and 4,000 were to praise the Lord with the instrument which David had devised for praise. David apportioned them into division according to the sons of the Levi, Gershon, Korath, and Merari. To the Gershonites belonged Ladan and Shimei. The sons of the Ladan, Jehiel the chief, then Zetham and Joel, 3 in all. The sons of the Shimei were Salomos, Haziel, and Haras, 3. These were the head of the family of the Ladans. The sons of the Shimei were Zahas, Zijar, Jeus, and Beriah. These were the sons of the Shimei, 4 in all. Jahaz was the chief, and Zijar was second to him, but Jeus and Beriah had few sons, and therefore they were classed as a single family, exercising a single office. The sons of the Kohath, Amram, Izra, Hebron, and Uzziel, 4 in all. The sons of the Amram were Aaron and Moses. Aaron was set apart to be consecrated as most holy, he and his son forever, to offer sacrifice before the Lord, to minister to him, and to praise in his name forever. As for Moses, however, the man of God, his son, was counted as part of the tribe of the Levi. The sons of the Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. The sons of the Gershom, Shubael the chiefs. The sons of the Eleazar were Rehabiah the chief. The Eleazar had no other sons, but the sons of the Rehabiah were very numerous. The son of the Izhar, the Salomites the chief. The son of the Hebron, Zeriah the chief. The Amariah the second, the Jahaziel the third, and the Zekamim the fourth. The sons of the Uzziel, Micah the chief, and the Isaiah the second. The son of the Merari, Mari and the Mushi. The son of the Mari, Eliza and Kish. Eliza died, leaving the no son, only daughters. The son of the Kish, their kinsman, married them. The sons of the Mushi, Maris, Eder, and Zeromus, the 3 in all. These were the sons of the Levi according to the ancestral houses the family had, as they were enrolled one by one according to their names. They performed the work of the service of the house of the Lord, beginning at 20 years of age. David said, "The Lord, the God of Israel, has given rest to his people and has taken up his dwelling in Jerusalem forever." Henceforth, the Levite need not carry the tabernacle or any of the equipment for its service. For by David's last rules, the Levites were enlisted from the time they were 20 years old. Their duty is to assist the son of the Aaron in the service of the house of the Lord, having charge of the court, the chambers, and the preservation of the everything holy. They take part in the service of the house of the God. They also have a charge of the showbread, of the fine flour for the grain offering, of the wafers of the unleavened bread, and of the baking and the mixing, and all measures of the quantity and size. They are to present every morning to offer thanks and to praise the Lord, and likewise in the evening, and at every sacrifice of the burnt offering to the Lord on Sabbaths, new moons, and the feast days. In such numbers as are prescribed, they must always be presented before the Lord, and observe what is prescribed for them concerning the tent of the meeting, the sanctuary, and the sons of the Aaron, their kinsmen, in the service of the house of the Lord. 1 Chronicles chapter 24, the priestly division. There were also divisions for the sons of the Aaron. The son of the Aaron was Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Nadab and Abihu died before the father, leaving no son. Therefore, only Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests. David with Zadok, a descendant of the Eleazar, and Ahimelech, a descendant of the Ithamar, apportioned them their office in the priestly service. But since the sons of the Eleazar were found to the more numerous by male head than those of the Ithamar, the former were divided into 16 groups, and the latter into 8 groups, each under its family heads. Their functions were assigned impartially by lot, for they were the official of the holy place, the official of the God, descended both from Eleazar and from Ithamar. The scribe Shemaiah, son of the Nathaniel, a Levite, recorded them in the presence of the king and of the official of the Zadok the priest, and the Ahimelech, son of the Abiathar, and of the head of the ancestral houses of the priest and of the Levite, listing two successive family groups from Eleazar before each one from Ithamar. The first lot fell to Zeoriah, the second to the Zediah, the third to the Harim, the fourth to Seorim, the fifth to the Malchijah, the sixth to the Mijami, the seventh to the Hakkoks, the eighth to the Abijah, the ninth to the Jeshua, the 10th to the Shechaniah, the 11th to the Elishab, the 12th to the Zakim, the 13th of the Hubbah, the 14th to the Ishbah, the 15th to the Bilgah, the 16th to the Immer, the 17th to the Hezir, the 18th to the Hapizaz, the 19th to the Betaiah, the 12th to the Zehezkiah, the 21st to the Zetchin, the 22nd to the Gamrus, the 23rd to the Delaiah, the 24th to the Maziah. This was the appointed order of their service when they functioned in the house of the Lord, according to the precept given them by Aaron, their father, as the Lord, the God of Israel, had commanded him. Other Levite. Of the remaining Levite, there were Shubbear of the son of the Amram, and the Zediah of the son of the Shubbears, Ishiah the chief of the son of the Libabiah, Salomis of the Israelite, the Zahars of the sons of the Shalomis. The sons of the Hebron were Zeriah the chief, the Amariah, the second the Zaziel, the third Zekamim, the first. The sons of the Uzziel were Micah, Shamir of the son of the Micah, Ishiah the brother of the Micah, and Zechariah, a descendant of the Ishua. The son of the Merari was Marhi, Mushi, and the son of his son Uzziah. The son of the Merari through his son the Uzziah, Shoham, Zakur, and Iblis. The son of the Mari was Eleazar, who had no sons, and the Zeramir of the son of the Kish. The son of the Mushi were Mari, Edo, and Zeramos. These were the sons of the Levite according to their ancestral houses. They too, in the same manner as their kinsman, the son of the Aaron, cast a lot in the presence of the king David, Zadok, Amalek, and the head of the priests and the Levitical families. The more important the family did so in the same way as the less important one. 1 Chronicles chapter 25, the singers. David and the leader of the liturgy set apart for the service the son of the Asaph, Heman and Jeduthun, who prophesied to the accompaniment of lyres and harps and cymbals. This is the list of those who performed this service. Of the son of the Asaph, the Zakur, the Joseph, the Nathaniah, and the Asareliah, son of the Asaph, under the direction of the Asaph, who prophesied under guidance of the king. Of the Jeduthun, the sons of the Jeduthun, Gedaliah, Zeres, Jeshiah, Shimei, Hashabiah, and Mattithiah. 6. Under the direction of the father Jeduthun, who prophesied to the accompaniment of the relay to give thanks and praise to the Lord. Of Heman, this son of the Heman, Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uziel, Shubael, and Zerimos, Hananiah, Hananis, Eliatas, Gidatis, Romantiizers, Joseph Bekashars, Malotti, Hotir, and Mahazios. All these were the son of the Heman, the king sealed for divine marriage to exhort him. God gave Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these, whether the Asaph, the Jeduthun, or Heman, were under the father's direction in the singing the house of the Lord to the accompaniment of the cymbals, harps, and the relays, serving in the house of God under the guidance of the king. Their number, together with that of their kinsmen who were trained in the singing to the Lord, all of them skilled men, was 288. They cast a lot for their function equally, young and old, the master and the pupil alike. The first lot fell to Asaph, to the family of the Joseph. He and his son and his kinsmen were 12. Gedaliah was the second. He and his kinsmen and his sons were 12. The third was Zakur, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The fourth fell to Izri, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The fifth was Nathaniah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The sixth was Bukiah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The seventh was Zeraheliah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The eighth was Jesaiah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The ninth was Mattaniah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 10th was Shimei, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 11th was Uziel, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 12th fell to Hashabiah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 13th was Shumbeal, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 14th was Mattatiah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 5th fell to Zeromus, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 16th fell to Hananiah, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 7th fell to Jeshobekashua, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 18th fell to Hanani, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 19th fell to Melothi, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 20th fell to Eliatar, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 21st fell to Hotir, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 22nd fell to Gidalti, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 23rd fell to Mahazios, his son, and his kinsmen 12. The 24th fell to Romanti-Izro, his son, and his kinsmen 12. 1 Chronicles chapter 26, Division of the Gatekeepers. As for the division of the gatekeepers of the Korahite was Meshelemiah, the son of the Korah, one of the son of the Abishaph. Meshelemiah's son Zechariah, the firstborn Zediah, the second son Jebediah, the third Zethniah, the fourth. Elam the fifth, Johanan the sixth, Elihonai the seventh. Obed-Edom's son Shemaiah, the firstborn Zedekiah, the second son Joah, the third Shachar, the fourth Nathaniel, the fifth. Amir the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Beretai the eighth, the fourth. God bless him. To his son Shemaiah were born sons who ruled over the family, for they were warriors. The sons of the Shemaiah were Othniel, Raphael, Obed, and Zabad. Also his kinsmen who were men of the substance, Elu and Shemakiah. All these were the sons of the Obed-Edom, who together with the son and their kinsmen were men of the substance, fit for the service of Obed-Edom 62. Of Meshelemiah 18 sons and the kinsmen, men of the substance. Hossa, a descendant of the Merari, had these sons, Shimri the chief, for though he was not the firstborn, his father made him chiefs. Hilkiah, the second son, Tabaliah, the third, Zechariah, the fourth. All the sons and the kinsmen of the Hossa were 13. To this division of the gatekeepers by their chief men were assigned watches for them to minister in the house of the Lord, for each group in the same way. They cast a lot for each gate, the small and the large families alike. When the lot was cast for the east side, it fell to Meshelemiah. Then they cast a lot for his son Zechariah. A prudent counselor, and the north side fell to his lot. To Obed-Edom fell the south side, and to his son the storehouse. To Hossa fell the west side with the Salak gate at the ascending highways. For each family watches were established. On the east, 6 watched each day, on the north for each day, on the south for each day, and at the storehouse they were 2 and 2. As for the rice building on the west, there were 4 at the highway and 2 at the rice buildings. These were the class of the gatekeepers, the son of the Korah and the Meraris. Treasurers. Their brother Levi had oversight of the treasury of the house of the God and the treasury of the votive offerings. Among the sons of the Ladan, the Gershonite, the family heads were sons of the Zeirs. The son of the Zeir, Zetham, and his brother Joel, who oversaw the treasure of the house of the Lord. Of the Amramite, Israelite, Hebronite, and Uzzielite. Shubael, son of the Gershom, son of the Moses, was the principal overseer of the treasures. His associate was of the line of the Eliza, whose son was Rehabiah, whose son was Zesiah, whose son was Joram, whose son was Zikris, whose son was Shalomis. The Shalomis and his kinsmen oversaw all the treasure of the votive offering dedicated by King David, the head of the families, the command of the 1,000 and of the 100, and the command of the armies. What came from wars and from spoils they dedicate for the support of the house of the Lord. Also whatever Samuel the seer, Saul son of the Kish, Abner son of the Ner, Joab son of the Zeruiah, and all others had consecrated, was under charge of the Shalomis and his kinsmen. Magistrates. Among the Israelites, Chenaniah and his son were in charge of the Israel civil affairs as officials and judges. Among the Hebronite, Hashabiah and his kinsmen, 1,700 men of substance, had the administration of the Israel on the western side of the Jordan for all the work of the Lord and the service of the king. Among the Hebronite, Joab was their chief according to their family records. In the 14th year of the David reign, search was made, and there were found among them warriors at the Jazer of the Gilead. His kinsmen were also men of the substance, 2,700 heads of the families. King David appointed them to the administration of the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of the Manasseh for everything pertaining to God and to the kings. 1 Chronicles chapter 27, Army Commanders. This is the list of the Israelites that family has, command of the 1,000 and of the 100, and the other officials who served the king in all that pertain to the division. Of 24,000 men each, that came and went month by month throughout the years. Over the first division for the first month was Ishabar, son of the Zabdiel, and his division was 24,000 men. A descendant of Perez, he was chief over all the command of the army for the first month. Over the division of the second month was Eliza, son of the Dodo, from Ahuz, and his division was 24,000 men. The third army commander for third month was Benaiah, son of the Zeoada, the chief priest, and his in the division was 24,000 men. The Benaiah was a warrior among the 30 and over the 30. His son Ammizadeh was over his division. First for the first month was Ashael, followed up the Joab, and after him his son Zebadiah, and his division was 24,000 men. Fifth for the fifth month was the commander Shamhus, a descendant of the Zerah, and his division was 24,000 men. Sixth for the sixth month was Ira, son of the Ikesh, from Tekoa, and in his division was 24,000 men. Seventh for the seventh month was Haliz from Beth-Balat of the Ephraimite, and in the division was 24,000 men. Eighth for the eighth month was Shibikai, the Hushatite, a descendant of the Zerah, and his division was 24,000 men. Ninth for the ninth month was Abijah from the Anatols of the Benjamin, and his division was 24,000 men. Tenth for the tenth month was Maharai from the Netophites, a descendant of the Zerah, and in his division was 24,000 men. 11th for the 11th month was Benaiah and the Piratonite of the Ephraimite, and in his division was 24,000 men. 12th for the 12th month was Heldai the Netophitite of the family of the Othniels, and his division was 24,000 men. Tribal leaders. Over the tribe of the Israel for the Reubenite, the leader of the Eliza, son of the Zituriel, for the Shimonite, the Shaphatiah, son of the Machar. For Levi, the Hashabiah, son of the Kemuel, for Aaron Zadok. For Judah, Eliab, one of the David's brothers. For Issachar, Omri, son of the Mikaels. For Zebulun, Ishmaiah, son of the Obadiah. For Naphtali, Jeremoth, son of the Azriels. For the Ephraimite, Hosea, son of the Azaziah. For the half tribe of the Manasseh, Joel, son of the Pedaiah. For the half tribe of the Manasseh in Gilead, Edo, son of the Zechariah. For Benjamin, and Jasiel, son of the Abros. For then Azariah, son of the Zeroam, these were the command of the tribe of the Israel. David did not count these who were 20 years of the age and the younger, for the Lord had promised to multiply Israel like the star of the heavens. Joab, son of the Zeruiah, began to take the census, but he did not complete it, for because of the arrest fell upon Israel. Therefore, number was not recorded in the book of the Chronicles of the King David. Overseers. Over the treasure of the king was Azmavesh, the son of the Adiel. Over the treasure in the country, the city, the village, and the tower was Jonathan, son of the Uzziah. Over the farm workers who tilled the soil was Israel son of the Jaros. Over the vineyard was Shimei from the Ramah, and over their produce for the wine cellars was Zabdi the Shipmite. Over the olive tree and the sycamores of the Sapphira was Balaam the Gadarite, and over the straw of oil was Joas. Over the cattle that grazed in the Sharon was Shitrai the Sharonite, and over the cattle in the valleys was Shaphat, the son of the Adilite. Over the camel was Obed the Ishmaelite, over the donkey was Jeadiah the Meronotite, and over the flock was Zethis the Hagilite. All these were the overseer of the King David the possessions. David quote, Jonathan, David, the uncle and the man of the intelligence, was the counselor and the scribe. He and Zaid, the son of the Hakmoni, attended the king's sons. Ahithophel was also the king's counselor, and Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. After Ahithophel came Zeoiada, son of the Benaiah, and Abiathar, the commander of the king's army, was Joab. On 1 Chronicles chapter 28, the assembly in Jerusalem. David assembled at Jerusalem all the commander of the Israel, the tribal commander, the commander of the division who were in the service of the king, the commander of the 1,000 and of the 100, those in command of all king's estate and possession, and his son together with the courtiers, the warriors, and every person of the substance. King David rose to the feet and said, Hear me, my kinsmen and my people. It was my purpose to build the house of the repose myself for the ark of the covenant of the Lord, the footstool for the feet of our God, and I was preparing to build it. But God said to me, You may not build the house for my name, for you are a man who waged wars and shed blood. However, the Lord, the God of Israel, chose me from all my father's family to be king over Israel forever. For he chose Judah as the leader, then one family of the Judah, that of my father, and the final among all the sons of my father. It pleased him to make me king over all Israel. And of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons, he has chosen my son Solomon to sit on the throne of the Lord's kingship over Israel. For he said to me, It is your son Solomon who shall build my house and my court, for I have chosen him for my son, and I will be a father to him. I will establish his kingdom forever. He will persevere in carrying out my commandment and the ordinance as he does now. Therefore, in the sight of the Israel, the assembly of the Lord, and in hearing of our God, keep and carry out all the commandments of the Lord your God, that you may continue to possess this good land, and afterward leave it as an inheritance to your children forever. As for you, Solomon, my son, know the God of your father, and serve him with the whole heart and the willing soul. For the Lord searches all heart and understands all the mind thoughts. If you search for him, he will be found, but if you abandon him, he will cast you off forever. See then, the Lord has chosen you to build a house as a sanctuary. Be strong and set to works. Temple plans given to Solomon. Then David gave to his son Solomon to design of the portico and of the house itself, with its storerooms, its upper rooms, and the inner chambers, and the shrine containing cover of the ark. He provided also design for all areas that he had in mind by way of the court for the house of the Lord, with the surrounding compartment for the treasure of the house of the God, and the treasure for the votive offerings, as well as for the division of the priest of the Levite, for all the work of the service of the house of the Lord, and for all the ritual vessel for the house of the Lord. He specified the weight of the gold to be used in the golden vessel for the various service and the weight for the silver to be used in the silver vessel for the various service. Likewise, for the golden menorah and their lamps, he specified the weight of the gold for each menorah and its lamps. And for the silver menorahs, he specified the weight of the silver for each menorah and its lamps, depending on the use to which each menorah was to be put. He specified the weight of the gold for each table that was to hold the showbread, and the silver for silver tables. The pearl gold for the forks, basins, and the pitchers, the weight of the gold for each golden bowl, and the weight of the silver for each silver bowls. The refined gold and its weight to be used for the altar incense, and the fine gold to the fashion to chariot. The cherubim spreading their wings and covering the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All this he wrote down by hand of the Lord to make him understand it, the working out of the whole design. Then David said to his son Solomon, "Be strong and steadfast, and go to work. Do not fear to be dismayed, for the Lord God, my God, is with you. He will not fail you or abandon you before you have completed all the work for the service of the house of the Lord." The division of the priest and the Levite were ready for all the service of the house of the God. They will be with you in all the work with all those who are eager to show their skill in every kind of the craftsmanship. Also, the commander and all the people will do everything that you command. 1 Chronicles chapter 29, offering for the temples. King David then said to the whole assembly, "My son Solomon, whom alone God has chosen, is still young and experienced. The work, however, is great, for this palace is not meant for human beings, but for the Lord God. For this reason, I have strewn out for the house of the God, as far as I was able, gold for what will be made of gold, silver for what will be made of the silver, bronze for what will be made of bronze, iron for what will be made of iron, wood for what will be made of wood, onyx stones and the setting for them, carnelian and the mosaic stones, every other kind of the precious stone, and the great quantity of the marbles. But now, because of the delight I take in the house of my God, in addition to the all that I store for the holy house, I give to the house of my God my personal fortune in gold and silver. 3,000 talents of the Ophir gold and 7,000 talents of the refined silver for overlaying the walls of the rooms. For the various utensils to be made of the gold and silver, and for every work that is to be done by artisans. Now, who else will contribute generously and consecrate themselves this day to the Lord? Then the head of the family, the tribal command of the Israel, the command of the 1,000 and the 100, and those who had the command of the king of Pharaoh's came forward willingly, and contributed for the service of the house of the God 5,000 talents, and then 1,000 daris of the gold, 10,000 talents of the silver, 18,000 talents of the bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. Those who had the precious stone gave them into the keeping of the Zair, the Gershonite, for treasury of the house of the Lord. The people rejoiced over this freewill offering, for they had been contributed to the Lord wholeheartedly. King David also rejoiced greatly. David prayer. Then David blessed the Lord in the sight of the whole assembly. David said, "Blessed are you, Lord, God of Israel, our Father, from eternity to eternity. Yours, Lord, are greatness and might, majesty, victory and splendor, for all in heaven and on earth in yours. Yours, Lord, is kingship. You are exalted as head over us. Rich and glory are from you, and you have dominion over all. In your hand are power and might. It is yours to give greatness and strength to us. Therefore our God will give you thanks, and we praise the majesty of your names. But who am I and who are my people that we should have the means to contribute so freely? For everything is from you, and what we give is what we have from you. For before you are strangers and travelers, like old ancestors. Our days on earth are like a shadow without a future. Lord our God, all these wells that we have brought together to build your house for your holy name comes from you and is entirely yours. I know, my God, that you put heart to the test, and then you take praise in integrity. With the whole heart I have willingly given all these things. And now with joy I have seen your people here present, also giving to you generously. Lord God of our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, keep such thought in the heart of the minds of your people forever, and direct their hearts toward you. Give to my son Solomon of the whole heartily desire to keep your commandment, the precept, and the statutes, that he may carry out all these plans and build the palace for which I have made the preparations. Then David told the whole assembly, Now bless the Lord your God. And the whole assembly blessed the Lord, the God of their ancestors, bowing down in homage before the Lord and before the kings. On the following day, they brought the sacrifice and the burnt offering to the Lord, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, together with their libation, and made other sacrifice for all Israel. And on that day they ate and drank in the Lord's presence with great rejoicing. Solomon anointed. Then for a second time they proclaimed David's son Solomon king, and they anointed him for the Lord as rulers and Zadok as priest. Thereafter Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king, succeeding his father David. He prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. All the commander and the warriors, and also all the other sons of the King David, swore allegiance to King Solomon. And the Lord exalted Solomon greatly in the eyes of all Israel, giving him a glorious reign such as had not been enjoyed by any kings over Israel before him. David's death. Thus David, the son of Jesse, had reigned over all Israel. He was king over Israel for 40 years. He was king 7 years in Hebron and 33 years in Jerusalem. He died at the ripe old age, rich in years and wealth and glory, and his son Solomon succeeded him as king. Now the deeds of King David, first and last, are recorded in the history of the Samuel the seer, the history of the Nathan the prophet, and the history of the Gad the seer, together with the particular of his reign and the valor and of the event that affected him and all Israel and all kingdom of the earth.